Hello everyone, this is ACHAI, and we are in the ace matchup between DeathCon5 and KillerPlague right now, which of course has been a Protoss versus Protoss matchup. Last game was on Metalopolis, and once again we are playing on a 4-player map, the Lost Temple. And just a quick side note, I'm sorry if you guys can hear all the background noise, but it is storming like crazy at my house right now. There's some serious rain and lots of thunder, so if you guys catch any of that in the background, I do apologize. Hopefully it's relatively insulated by my condenser mic, but I guess we'll see. But anyways, we're going to jump right into this game here. Both of the past games have been played out pretty similarly. The biggest change between the first game and last game was that KillerPlague decided to completely bypass building any immortals, and he actually built his robotics bay immediately after the robotics facility. So as soon as his first observer was finished, he was able to start building Colossi, which was ultimately what won the game for him. In addition to, when he first moved out of his base, there was a decent-sized army from DeathCon5 there, but they were not prepared to handle Colossi, and he was actually not focusing on his army, and when they attacked, his army was not prepared, and he did not micromanage his army at all, so he lost a large amount of units, unfortunately, because he just was not paying attention. So anyways, back to the game here. DeathCon5, once again, starting very standard, getting the pylon gateway out at the front of his base, and it looks like something very similar from KillerPlague. And as I've mentioned in games past, both players seem to like getting their first pylon, their gateway, their cyber core. Sometimes we see a second gateway somewhere in there as well before they get to the robotics facility, but a lot of times we've seen them go get their gateway, cyber core, and then straight into robotics facility. So we'll see if they do something very similar this game. I've seen KillerPlague do pretty much the same thing for the past 6 or 7 games, so it looks like he has actually planned this build order out and basically just uses that exact same build order with very, very slight variations. And sorry, I guess if you see all that text popping up right now, I'm wondering if there might have been some there must have been some lag or a pause or something like that. But anyways, getting back into the game here, we can see the first gateway is out now, and there's a cybernetics core going down right now for DeathCon5, and very, very same thing for KillerPlague back at his base. So once again, we are going to see these mirror builds between the two players, and I'm guessing it will, as always, differentiate once they get past the cybernetics core technology to differentiate if they are going for robotics tech, gateway tech, or if they're going to go for Colossi or whatever. So we'll see what they decide to do. There is a second gateway going down for both players right now. And another thing to mention too, last game, despite the fact that KillerPlague seemed like he was behind in tech the whole time, I mean, we saw him just getting his second gateway down as in robotics, or I'm sorry, he was just getting his second gateway down as DeathCon5 was finishing his second gateway and starting his robotics facility. So, but he was still able to pull out a win because he went straight to the Colossus tech. So we'll see if he does anything similar like that that will keep him in the advantage as far as tech goes. But getting one stalker out right now, going to use that to take down the scouting probe that's still in his base right now, which is currently not moving at all. So he may be able to get that down rather quickly. One more shot, and it looks like it's going to go down. Oh, he manages to take him down. So anyways, it looks like he did get that out of there. He has the 2 gateways in the cyber core. I imagine we will see the robotics facility here very shortly. And actually, I think I may just miss that. No, I'm sorry, there was a simulator going down there. But it looks like the robotics facility is on the way for DeathCon5 already. So once again, we do see that he is slightly ahead in the tech pattern. Actually, the robotics facility about 80% done already for DeathCon5. So I'm not sure exactly why such a discrepancy. Once again, if we look at the income tab, we can see that they're very, very similar on the harvester count. There is a 2 harvester lead for KillerPlague right now, but DeathCon5 definitely is ahead in the gas right now, so he is going a very gas heavy build. You can see that he is about 100 behind, give or take, on the minerals, but he is about 100 ahead on the gas because of that, although it looks like that's starting to even out just a little bit right now. But going for that gas a little bit earlier on, probably why he got that robotics facility out so much quicker than KillerPlague did. If we take a look at the units combination, though, you can see here very similar, 2 zealots for both people, 2 stalkers versus 1 stalker for DeathCon5, and then 1 sentry for KillerPlague versus the 2 sentries for DeathCon5. So very similar army composition, although right now the biggest difference is going to be in what they're producing, which, as you can see, both players producing 1 Zealot and 1 Stalker, but there is also 1 Immortal on the way for DeathCon5, so we'll see if that plays a big difference in the matchup as far as when the attack goes down, if there's any kind of a timing push to from DeathCon5 to try to get to KillerPlague before he's able to get any of his key robotics units out, which, as I mentioned last game, he went straight for the Colossi tech, which it doesn't seem like he's doing as of yet. We'll see if he tries to put down a robotics bay here shortly. It looks like he will have the gas here. No, I'm sorry, he put in some he put in a sentry, so I don't know if he's gonna have the gas anymore. No, putting down another gateway actually instead, so we are going to see a slightly different variation from last game he built. The opening, what was it, 4 or 5 minutes, I guess, about the same, and then switching it up rather than going for straight for the Colossi, he is going to get that first observer out, which, as I mentioned before, he seems to really like getting that initial observer out so that he can get some scouting on the map, and then going for another gateway, although here comes the robotics bay right now, so I don't see him building any immortals, so he may still be going straight for the Colossi tech, although it will not be as quick as it was last game, but it will still be faster than what DeathCon5 has, because as you can see, he has not built his robotics bay yet and does not have one going up. However, he does have an expansion going up, so if KillerPlague is not able to pull off a successful timing attack of sorts, then he is going to be behind economically here pretty quick if he's not able to catch up. But there is an observer overhead, so he is going to be aware of exactly what's going on, and he will be spotting this expansion right now, so he is aware that he is trying to expand, and I'm guessing he is going to try to time his attack accordingly. But there is an observer coming out for DeathCon5 as well, so hopefully he will be able to take down that observer. And it looks like DeathCon5 actually moving his army out across the map right now. He may be trying to put some pressure on KillerPlague, and KillerPlague apparently deciding to back off for the time being. But looking at the tech tree, it looks like there is a robotics bay going down for DeathCon5 now. So he will also have that Colossi tech available to him very shortly here. Although I'm guessing it will be a matter of who can get the most Colossi out first. There is no range upgrade going yet. Oh, I'm sorry, it just actually started. And there's 1 Colossi building for KillerPlague. We'll have to see if there's any Colossi being built. Yes, 1 Colossi coming out right now. So DeathCon5 apparently deciding that that is going to be important for him to keep up in this game, as he noticed that KillerPlague went very heavy on the Colossi tech last game. So definitely making a quick switch to that. And if we look at the units overlay here, we can see that both armies are pretty different at this point. We've got a lot of Zealots for KillerPlague, which is actually going to be pretty good against the unit mix that DeathCon5 has, although the I'm not sure why he just put up a force field there, or a guardian shield rather. Well, for some reason one of his sentries popping a guardian shield to protect them from range attacks at this point. But the Zealots are very good against a lot of these ranged units, especially if they have charge, which I don't believe he has researched yet. No, he does not. But they make very good meat shields, especially against the Immortals, because the Immortals do not do their full 50 damage because the Zealots are not an armored unit. But it looks like the range upgrade is just about finished for the Colossi for KillerPlague, and that range upgrade also going for DeathCon5 right now, but it's not even just about halfway done yet. So, and he is trying to get some more Colossi out, 1 already on the map, and as we can see, the second Colossi has already popped for KillerPlague. So DeathCon5 is a little bit behind in that regard, but it looks like there are some Stalkers out of place here. Oh, he did move them away just in time. If DeathCon5 was able to pick those off, that would have actually been a pretty solid victory for him. But it looks like KillerPlague does have an observer over that watchtower, so he is aware if there was any units over there. Plus, he did have Stalkers that had control of that. And it looks like KillerPlague going to move up here and try to attack the second Colossi, not yet finished for DeathCon5, just now coming out. So he is putting down a lot of force fields here, trying to protect his ranged units, but those Colossi, once again, because they are massive units, are able to take those force fields down without any issues, just walking right over them. They managed to slow the Zealots down for a little bit, but not significant enough, and it looks like a lot of those units going down to the Zealot, that very, very heavy Zealot wall, getting the workers in the mix now, and it looks like he's going to be able to take down all the Zealots, but there are still a lot of Stalkers and 2 Colossi, which are the big threat. 1 Immortal still remaining for DeathCon5, but that goes down very quickly to the remaining units from KillerPlague's army. Oh, and he loses his last Colossus, and DeathCon5 says, wow, apparently he was not expecting to lose that battle. Says, sorry, AZ. I'm guessing he's referring to Azrael, who is actually the last remaining player from the SC2A Armory site if DeathCon5 indeed does lose this, which right now it looks very, very bad for DeathCon5. because he has lost his entire army with the exception of this last remaining sentry and Colossi that he has. But there are a lot of units in his base still. 2 Colossi, 3 Stalkers it looks like, and 2 more Zealots. So moving his units out here, going to try to take them on with his probes, but those probes just absolutely melt away to the Colossi fire, because basically Colossi can one-shot probes. And as you can see, all those probes just disappearing. So it looks like this game is over. And yeah, he says GG. So he apparently is going to GG out of this game, and DeathCon5 loses the series 2-1 to KillerPlague. So KillerPlague has managed to take down everybody from the SC2 Armory site, with the exception of Azrael, the last remaining SC2 Armory player, who is going to have to face off against KillerPlague in the final matchup of this exhibition match between SC2 Armory and Vile Gaming. GG.